to ask you specifically, and you could tell us, we've talked about the debate a lot, and honestly, I'll be honest, I find it sort of depressing. So I'm not super excited to talk about it, but tell us your thoughts on the debate for sure. But more specifically, what's really interesting to me, and I hope to everybody else, I hope to you, Emma, is like, it's not exactly, while I was watching the debate, it occurred to me, I was like, America really loves con artists and they love bullshit artists. And Trump is the con artist and Biden's the bullshit artist. And the way Biden lied during that debate, and the way not only is CNN, as an example, going to cover for him. I mean, there's some reports that like CNN knew they were going to queue up the whole woman VP thing, like almost working like with the Biden campaign. And it goes back to this whole like hysteria about how we're like in a post-truth world and Donald Trump is just lying and nothing's real anymore. And we've been trying to say for a long time, like, of course it's Trump, but it's a lot bigger, including just even like, look at the fucking PR industry. Like Americans are very used to being lied to. But I have to say, watching the way Biden lied, it struck me more Trump-like, to be honest, because the old school Democratic lying is in the best tradition of Bill Clinton, where he's just like, well, actually, there was a second bankruptcy bill vote, and we tried to fix the first one, but Newt Gingrich said no, and I tried. Like, all, you know what I mean? Like, all of this. Biden just was Trump-like. Just, no, wrong. I didn't say that. Or if I did say that, it's not what I meant. And totally covered for it. In a way, it was like, okay, so I guess like post-truth and systemic lying is just like what it is now.
Yeah, and like, trust me, I've been grieving for like, I've been depressed about the whole thing too, and driving back from like, I was at Bernie's Super Tuesday party, and like, we're not going to pretend that that wasn't a terrible night. I mean, I was getting teary-eyed like a little bitch driving home. but seriously, I was just like,
title of the video, by the way.
Sorry?
I said title of the video for clipping later.
Teary-eyed like a little bitch. But like the malaise is real, and it's hard not to feel completely beaten down. But I think you're right to say that the lying is not traditional politic lying in the way Biden does it, because he doesn't even try to massage the truth. He just tries to blow past it. And it is Trumpian. Another thing that's Trumpian about him is his bullying tactics. And you see it when he's talking to constituents. You see that he gets aggressive with them. I mean, Trump does a similar thing where, you know, he'll pick out someone in the audience and point them out and get the crowd to be against them. You've seen that at Biden town hall events. And just because he's more charming and more affable in his interactions with fellow senators and important people in his mind, that doesn't make him any less of a bully. And Biden certainly is a bully. And so like when Bernie goes on stage and he says, he's my friend, or he tells, you know, Chris Cuomo, or I forgot what show it was, you know, oh, he could beat Trump. What are we talking about here? This is one, I have serious doubts about that, although who knows with coronavirus, in any like reality that we've known up until this point, Biden would lose handily to Trump, but who really knows? Anyway, it's just like, and another thing just quickly about Biden is like, at least Hillary Clinton pretended that she's gonna pay attention to some of the leftist proposals from the left. Like, I don't really see Biden doing any of that.
Yeah, I mean, I do think, on the other hand, I do think Biden is more, you know, he's a better politician than Hillary Clinton. And I think, you know, and some of this stuff is so calculated. Like, I want people to look up, like, his big thing that he's done is say that he's going to take a version of Bernie's free college plan, which is not Bernie's free college plan because it isn't universal, but a version of it, right? And people should go back to 2016 because Biden endorsed that plan in 2016, then dropped it while he was running, almost like it was calculated for this very moment. Like, I basically support this, I'll drop it, and then this will be like the big figure left, right? And I think like people really need to track this stuff. But I just want to say with Bernie in general, like I have critique, like I'm like brimming with critiques of the left across the board, and I have problems with the Bernie campaign, but I I'm not into like people turning on Bernie, right? Like I think Bernie is better than we are. Like he is a representation of very basic decency and common sense, and has been just, not that he's perfect, not that he doesn't make mistakes, yada yada yada, like etc. But like he has been bombarded from all sides for like years now, like including like the worst people on earth, the sociopaths that run the Democratic Party, but also like a lot of people who are like, instead of when he first announced being like, this shit is really serious, let's go, being like, well, I don't like that Bernie, blah, 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 blah. Let's push him left, like, I don't like his Corona statement. It didn't have enough intersectional language in it. Like,
oh, kill me.
He's just like, the truth is, like, when I was watching him with Biden, like, I thought of all sorts of things that, like, communications wise, like, you could frankly learn from somebody like Tony Blair that would be really effective. Like, of course we have to deal with the crisis, but we have to deal with the long term so there's not another crisis and you go on a fence. Like, absolutely. But there was another part of me watching that debate. It was just like, Bernie is the only person in national leadership right now, and one of just like the sort of few people on the American scene who just has like basic decency, and it's not rewarded right now in America as it should be.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, I feel the same. The amount of shit he's taken and just not retaliated in the way that I would have, right? It's because he's that kind of guy. I do think he needs messaging help. I think when he's on his feet in these debates, he doesn't tailor his responses enough to the specifics of the question or the specifics of the attacks from Biden. He'll just go back to his same mantra. And I don't think that that's great messaging, because everyone kind of knows at this point, you kind of have to mold it to fit the conversation more specifically. And I think he's so entrenched in what he believes, and that's all that drives him. It's not some sense of ego. It's not some sense of trying to win. He wants these ideas to pass, that he's not looking at it more tactically in terms of battling someone and getting the American public to see Biden in a certain light. He did go on the offensive. That was great. That was effective. Go to the YouTube.
That was great. YouTube was amazing. That was like the happiest I've been in days.
But my point, same. And I was my boyfriend and I were jumping up and down watching it, yeah. What I will also say at the end of that debate, as well as Bernie did, I don't think Biden did poorly enough. He actually,
what drugs that they have him on.
I know.
He was more coherent and there than he has been the whole campaign.
Yeah, exactly. So he had his brain had a good night, and that's bad news for us.
Right.
And because those are going to be fewer and far between. I mean, remember when he said he was going to be a one-term president? Like, I don't even know how far off that is.
Maybe he thinks a term is 4 months.
He forgot. He doesn't know what term.
It's going to be 4 months. I got it, Jack.
You just watched a Michael Brooks show video. Subscribe to get them all. Why wouldn't you? Don't be foolish. Click subscribe below and become a patron as well. Patreon.com/TMBS. Thanks, everybody.